I got these candles for a couple bucks at the thrift store and I'm finally doing it. I'm making the twisty ones. First, I filled the sink with hot water out of my tap. Once it was full, I threw my candles in and quickly panicked because I realized that they float, so I threw some spoons on them and this worked. Kinda. After 10 minutes, I took my first noodle out and flattened the middle with a water bottle, put it back in the water to keep it warm while I twisted it a couple of times and then put it under cold water to lock it into place. The bendy ones were even easier. I just twisted them into curvy shape I wanted, ran them under cold water, and there you have them. This took me a grand total of 15 minutes and I love my squiggly children.
One thing about social media is that it can be an incredible tool for small businesses. How cute are these shelves? This is Candace. She's the owner of Curious Homewares, a fun and funky woodworking shop based in Hawaii. She designs these adorable shelves that are both aesthetic and functional. Candace opened her shop a little more than a year ago. She told BuzzFeed that she definitely fell into the craze of home DIY projects during the pandemic, with the help of her wife and, of course, YouTube. She says that sharing her work on social media has been instrumental in growing her business. Definitely check her out if you like funky home decor.
Giant orange trees in my backyard that I love, and 'tis the season to make an orange garland, so I stole some away from this squirrel and got to work. Sliced them up about 1/4 of an inch, and I didn't cut myself, not even once. Put some parchment paper on a baking tray, pause for satisfying paper sound. Nice. Now, pat your slices dry, lay them out, and then remember that you forgot to preheat the oven to 250 degrees Fahrenheit, so do that real quick. Throw your slices in for 2-ish hours, or in my case, a couple of episodes of the Great British Baking Show. I flipped them over in between episodes just to make sure both sides baked. Poked a hole into the top and just attached the slices with a simple knot. Added some wood beads in between each to make it extra cute. Then it's just repeat and repeat until you get to the length you want, and you're done. I love how this turned out so much. I might just go ahead and leave it up all year round.
I can't be the only one that thinks that little fantasy creatures live in the woods, right? And apparently, I'm right. Meet Tweet, a treehouse creature made by Chloe, a 25-year-old artist from Michigan. It took Chloe over half a year to complete Tweak, the tree goblin. She finds inspiration in nature and loves to incorporate intricate natural details into her pieces, like tiny acorns as hats. Chloe grew up playing in the woods behind her home in a very imaginative family. Her Nana especially instilled a love for fantasy and fairies that Chloe never grew out of. Chloe invites all of you to let your inner child loose and let that imagination wander.
So I have some builder grade wired shelving in my master bathroom that I'm looking to remove, and this is how I did that for under $100. I went from these wired shelves to these custom plywood shelves. So I started by removing everything out of the closet, obviously. Taking out those wired shelves were a lot easier than I thought it would be. And then it was time to get the materials. And don't worry if you don't have the tools to make the cuts, because Lowe's or Home Depot will make the cuts for you. I had them cut these sheets of particle board, which I'm using as the shelf tops, and then I painted those white. I did have to use my saw to cut the 2x2 lumber, which is what the frame of the shelf will be made out of, and the boards were like $4 each. I screwed those together and then screwed them into studs in the closet. So super easy, you get the concept. I added a frame and then the top of the shelf. For the top shelf, I added a 1/4 inch piece of plywood since the bottom of that shelf would be visible, and then I added in the face frames, caulked all of the sides, and painted it all white. And that is how I went from this to this for under $100. I absolutely love how this turned out.
I think I found the perfect gift this holiday season. How cool are these mugs? This is our Cass. She is the brilliant artist behind Kishbish Studios, which is a fun and quirky pottery business based in Canada. Her work is inspired by her love of cake and all things colorful and bright. She only discovered her love for pottery when she was in college, so she spent 3 of those years elbow deep in clay. She told BuzzFeed that she makes work that makes her smile and that she knows will make others smile too. So, if you're looking to smile today, go check out her page.
If you have a small space for your entryway, adding a small shoe cabinet may help not only for organization purposes and to be able to store some shoes, but it can also work as a key catcher. It gives you a nice, beautiful aesthetic look, hiding away the ugliness of the shoes, allowing you to add some nice little plants and even a little calendar. You can even add baskets with lids so that you can hide must-have items like flashlights. Add a little basket to catch the keys and your sunglasses. Add a cute little mirror on top, and just like that, we made a cute little entryway.
Hi, I'm Lauren with Pop-Up Picnic Co., and I'm going to show you how to set up the perfect pop-up picnic. First thing you need is a great base. It should be big enough to cover the entire area and should keep you dry and sand-free. Plus, it should roll up or fold for easy carrying. The next thing I recommend is a great bag or basket. You need to be able to carry everything in as few trips as possible. My next tip is don't bring glass. There's a reason so many parks and beaches don't allow it. If it breaks, and it's bound to break, it's such a B word to pick up. So don't make it a hassle for you or the next people to use the park. My last tip is make it personal. If you can customize something at the table, you're gonna make your guests feel super special. There it is, the essential tips for a real pop-up picnic.
A tape wall with us. You're gonna need a boring wall, 3 different sizes of packing tape. Now it's time to get sticking. My only rule for the pattern was not to put more than 3 of the same size next to each other. I just kind of zoned in, and 2 hours later it was done. Hung this neon sign, threw a play in the corner, and here's the finished product. Super easy, super cheap, would recommend. Time. Let's go. I scored my first curve. Whacked it. I did it. Oh, there's glass everywhere.
I wanted a big neon sign in my apartment, but I didn't want to spend several $1000s, so I decided to make one myself. Except I don't know anything about electricity, and I don't want to die. So I watched a bunch of YouTube videos and learned about something called neon LED. It's cheaper, it doesn't hum, it's easier to work with, it's dimmable, and it looks good enough for me. I picked a pineapple because my girlfriend has a pineapple tattoo, and it's a symbol of hospitality. So I found an image online, printed it out, placed it on poster board, thumbtacked some plastic brackets, and then laid the rope onto the brackets. You can cut the rope at any 1-inch marker. This part is positive, this part is negative. This is a soldering iron, and this is soldering tin. It's kind of like if hot glue were made of metal. I connected the positive parts and the negative parts, and then hid the wire under the rope. For the base, I used a 4-foot sheet of 1/8 inch plexiglass. And then I used a Dremel to cut out the pineapple shape. Then I used epoxy to glue the brackets to the glass, hooked it up to a 12-volt power supply and dimmer. And now my apartment looks like a dive bar.